Hi, I'm Tyler Augst, and I'm a Government and Community Vitality Educator with Michigan State University Extension. And I'm here at Public Media Network today to talk a little bit about the City of Kalamazoo's government and some of the types of government in Michigan. So, what is a village in Michigan? Villages are another type of local government, and these emerged in Michigan in the early 1900s as a way to handle areas where we were beginning to get densely populated. And we needed to start meeting resident needs out in what were townships, but people were really starting to form communities within those townships. So village is a government type that allows some additional services to be rendered, grants some additional authorities. The key thing here is villages remain part of the broader township. So within a township, you will have a smaller area that is the village, and residents of that village are members or residents of both the township and their smaller village. That means they participate in both, pay taxes in both, and need to be staying engaged with both of them because they both apply to where they live. Your township will continue to handle the assessment of property, tax collection, elections, and then villages handle everything else. And exactly what villages do is going to vary depending on what the local needs are, what residents want, who they've elected. So there's a great variety across the state. And among villages, we see the same split as we see in townships of having both our general law villages and then what are called home rule or charter villages. That general law village, similar to townships, gets its authority from a statute that the state has adopted, this one called the General Law Village Act. And really a majority of the villages around the state are these general law villages. Probably about 207 out of the 252, according to some data from the Michigan Municipal League. So these villages, at the broadest level, they're led by a 7-person council. They're the legislative body for a village, the one writing the laws. In that legislative body, we have a couple key roles. The first one being the village president. This is the chief elected officer for the village, often seen of as sort of the figurehead. They're a voting member of the village council, appoint folks for positions with the consent of the rest of the council, nominate for some other positions. They prepare the budget for the village for the council to then discuss, and are generally leading the meetings when the village council gets together. Now, in a village, they'll also name somebody called the president pro tempore. This is just an individual who's going to preside over meetings if that president could not be there. Next key role is the village clerk. A village clerk could either be elected by the people or appointed if the village has made that decision and adopted an ordinance to that effect. And similar to other clerks in a village, the clerk is the one who's handling the records, day-to-day administrative things if there's not a village manager. The clerk is also handling those elections at the village level if there's something specific to the village. They serve as a general accountant for the village and any other duties that may be assigned. Villages will also have a treasurer. They are the one that handles the money, receiving it, having custodianship over it. They need to keep track of all the accounts under that Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act that Michigan has. Similar to the clerk in a village, your treasurer can either be an elected position or if the village council has made that decision, it can be appointed. You will also have trustees or village council members. They're essentially there to fill out that council, to add additional voices, be part of the deliberations, and really make sure we're getting the best decisions possible, making sure we have a wide variety of voices there to make sure we debate and deliberate and come to what's best for the village. And of course, villages can hire staff to help carry out the operations of the community. We have about a quarter of the villages in the state hiring what's known as a village manager to really handle a lot of those day-to-day operations. There may be public works, parks and rec, planners, all sorts of staff that may need to be hired. But again, that's what that village council is there to do, to make those decisions and set the budget so that those can be done. So what is a home rule or a charter village in Michigan? Similar to charter townships, these are a slightly different type of government that has some additional authorities that come with it. Here, when we talk about home rule, they have adopted their own charter for how the village is going to run, or are using a charter established by state law. Under this, the majority of the villages that are doing a charter are using what's set up in the statute. We have some other ones doing a local home rule document, their own charter under that public act. Really, the idea is that the community creates this charter. So if you want to find out the specifics, really encourage you to check out your village's charter if they have one. But again, two very similar but slightly different government types there in the villages and charter villages.